Well, here's the returning Shane Orling. Shane?
I was catching up on headlines, Udi, and I saw Aaron Rodgers is apparently, per Davante Adams, quote, in the ear, trying to recruit Davante Adams from the Raiders to the Jets. And come on. Can somebody help me understand who is running these teams? Is it the GMs and the executives and the presidents and whoever, or is it the players? Because as I understand, Davante Adams is under contract with the Raiders.
Yes.
How is Aaron Rodgers recruiting him to the Jets?
There's no tampering clause in the NFL, right?
There is for executives, coaches, ownership, anybody, not players.
See? Well, the answer to your question, Shay, is it depends on the team, right?
Apparently, but
Yes.
like my point, is Rodgers going to get on the horn with the people in Vegas and offer to move jet picks? Who's running these teams?
Yellow. Yeah, this is Aaron. I need to speak to Mark Davis. Aaron who? Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. We'll give you our 2026 and 2027 first-round picks. We want Davante. Done. Joe Douglas, the GM. Yeah, can you get someone to pick Davante up at the airport? I got to work out in a therapy on my Achilles.
No.
Davante who? Davante Adams. I just traded for him. Okay, Aaron.
Can you
Whatever
imagine?
you say.
Rodgers is telling Joe Douglas to set a meeting with the capologist.
That does not work.
How are we going to pay for this, Aaron? I don't know. Figure it out, but I just traded for him.
If I'm Mark Davis, I'm like, put your dad on the phone. Like, put your GM on the phone. Who are you? You're making a negotiation. Put the GM on the phone. What is going on here? Is this a goof? Put your GM on the phone.
Crazy.
I like the conversation that the Bears have. That's better.
Hello?
Hello?
Who's this?
Who's this?
This is Chicago Bears, man. How you doing?
The best.
Shay, next time someone calls you and you pick up the phone, just say, "This is ESPN 1000. Who's this?" Someone from the office. Like, you're not Shay Norley. You're ESPN 1000.
I should start answering the phone like that, like Caleb. Hello? Like confused? Who's calling me?
Who's this?
You call the studio line, you
Chicago
get-
Bears, man.
Hello?
Who's this? Who's this?
ESPN 1000, man.
That's how you answer it. So Shay, again, this is why I've talked about this in the past. Shay, there's so many NFL players that wish they had the autonomy and the swing that NBA players have. Like LeBron James has so much power that in the open, when you're not supposed to tamper, yep, I want that guy, I want this guy, I want that guy. The NFL players wish they had that kind of power to say, yeah, you know what? Out in the open, I want that guy on my team. What are you going to do about it? Openly tampering. NBA guys do it all the time. The NFL does not have that same autonomy. So, Shay, what else do we have?
This morning on Unsportsmanlike, Evan Cohen offered his top 5 pass catchers list. I was listening live and was left in slack-jawed amazement, frankly. Here's Evan Cohen's top 5 pass catchers in the
heard
NFL.
this.
Me too.
At 5, CeeDee Lamb. At 4, Justin Jefferson. At 3, Christian McCaffrey. At 2, Jamar Chase. And at 1, Travis Kelce.
Yeah, that was not Evan's best segment.
Now-
Sorry, Evan. Love you, but that was not a good segment.
Listen, content's content. Evan is free to believe what he wants to believe. And I'm not even saying his list is wrong. I'm not going to trash it. I will tell you I created my own list, and the two of you can decide whose list is better.
Yeah, and I will trash Evan's, and I love Evan. Evan's list was horrible.
Shay, your list is better.
My top 5 pass catchers.
You don't have to give it. It's already better. Next. Without even giving it, yep, Shay, your list is better. Thank you.
Why is Christian McCaffrey on Evan's list?
Why is Travis Kelce? He's not a wide receiver.
He
said-
also
he
is
said-
coming off a career worst year.
He said pass catcher.
Did he say pass catcher?
He said
or did
pass catcher.
He said
Yep.
pass catcher. He said he wasn't limiting this to wide receiver.
See, pass catcher.
Okay.
Now, again, McCaffrey doesn't belong on the list, but the point is, though, he said pass catcher, and his whole point, as we all heard it live here, unfortunately, like 5 to 7 before we come on here on ESPN 1000, he believes that the tight end has more value than the wide receiver. Do you agree with that?
No.
And you know why he says that? And it was not mentioned on the show. But if I was a host in the show, if I was Chris Canty, and I would have said, what I would have said would be, you're a Patriots fan. Of course you'd feel that way.
Correct.
Because
he had Gronk and he had no real great receivers.
And you won a lot with that formula.
That's correct.
Wide receivers were just an accountant and a sanitation man, and it was good enough for Brady.
And a converted quarterback from Kent State.
And let's be honest, it wasn't good enough for Brady, but that's the way Belichick ran it. And so Brady had to flourish despite having a difference maker or difference makers at wide receiver. Gronk was it, right? So, Shane, let's hear your 5 that's better than Evans.
At 5, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Detroit Lion. He was fantastic last season. At 4, this was probably the most controversial selection, but Brandon Ayuk, who I've publicly loved in San Francisco. I think he's better than Deebo Samuel. He was incredible. He's still young, 25 years old. He'll probably get better as he gets into his prime. 3, CeeDee Lamb, and tied for first, Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Your list is literally Secretariat at the Belmont, and Evan's list is Sham, who ended up in the match race with Secretariat, fell all the way back to last.
Here's Sham on DeMar DeRozan.
It was really down to the Kings and the Miami Heat, from what I'm told, as far as DeMar DeRozan's next home. He really wanted to land in a competitive environment. And also, I'm told, wanted to go back west at the end of the day. And the Kings, they pushed.
I didn't say Shams. I said Sham. That was the name of the horse that finished dead last.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I was mistaken.
Yeah, not Shams Sharania.
I thought you were calling for Sham's sound there. I didn't know.
No. Thank you, though.
So, Shay, before you even read it, yes, it's again, pass catchers. You disagree with his premise that tight ends are more valuable
than wide receivers? Correct. Now, I'm not telling you that you couldn't put Travis Kelce at 5. I would have. Who did you have number 1?
Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson.
Thank you. That's exactly where I would have. Any list that Evan puts out of pass catchers that doesn't have Tyreek Hill on it in the top 5 is a bad list. Sorry, Evan. Take that.
Yeah, that's fine to say. No problem.
The McCaffrey thing is mystifying to me. Like, absolutely mystifying. This guy, he was targeted like 83 times, 67 catches. You are not a top pass catcher.
He's not.
83 targets, less than 30. It was like 29% of his snaps came lined up at receiver.
No, it's just.
You can't be a top 5 pass catcher.
No, that's just wrong. That's okay. Look, I mean, it was compelling enough for us to talk about in a topic on Unsportsmanlike. He's just wrong about that. But I think the question still stands, Jack. Would you rather have a top wide receiver or a tight end that, again, is a top pass catcher? So Justin Jefferson for life or Travis Kelce for life?
I'll take Jefferson.
It's tough because it's like one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game against the best wide receiver right now.
Well, if we're talking pure pass catching, I'll take Jefferson. But if we're adding in the blocking and all the other aspects, I'll take Kelce.
Am I getting Kelce at his age right now and Justin Jefferson? Because that's very easy, Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Kelce was operating at 60% last season so that he could be good for the playoffs.
Right. Or are we talking Travis Kelce and Justin Jefferson both at age 24?
Yeah, all time.
Then
Then
I might
I'm
take
taking
Kelce.
Kelce, yeah.
Yeah.
But Evan kept saying, like, if you have a great tight end, you're more likely to win a Super Bowl, which, okay, fine. But if you look at the non-quarterback Super Bowl MVPs who were, like, offensive players, they're all wide receivers.
Yes.
Because Julian Edelman won it. Cooper Kupp won it.
It's a different category than we are used to, Cap, because they weren't called pass catchers. Tight end was the grunt work. That was the blocker.
That's correct.
Get some catches here and there, but for the most part, you're the grunt guy, the tight end.
That is correct.
Now you can see how athletic the tight end is, which is amazing. Is Tommy there, by the way, Jack? Tommy
belonged on that list when he played. He was a stud.
So that was from,
you know what? Don't be a jerk. I was being complimentary.
No, you
know
weren't.
I'm one of
you
your
were being
biggest
a wise
fans.
ass.
I was
you were being
not
a wise ass because I didn't. Everyone on the planet knows I don't deserve to be on that list. So you just.
I didn't say today. You're 59 years old in a Scotch-induced coma half the time.
See, again, another shot. That's another shot.
I'm talking about when you were in your prime.
Listen, I think this is a silly conversation. You know I love Evan. I think Evan's wonderful at what he does. He's a great guy. Evan, as John, you just said it, he accomplished his goal. He got you guys talking about it. Like, there's no basis on any rationale to put as good a player as Christian McCaffrey is as a top 5 pass catcher in the league. And tight ends are definitely not as important as pass
wide
catchers.
receivers.
As wide receivers. Look, and that's not to diminish him. I think a guy like Gronk was one of the most difficult covers in the history of the NFL because he was faster than linebackers and safeties. He's bigger than corners. So if you drop a corner inside, like, you know, who's our guy that plays on the inside? It's so early for me. I can't remember.
Mercedes Lewis.
No. Who's our cornerback? They kick inside. We got Tyreek Stevenson on the outside. We got
Jalen Johnson.
No.
Kyler Gordon.
Kyler Gordon.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So for Kyler Gordon, who's a fantastic player, and I think it's a position that's undervalued quite a bit. He's too big for Kyler Gordon. He's too fast for our linebackers and safeties. But those guys are 1 in a million most of the time. And as much as I love Travis Kelce, my guess is Travis Kelce, a ton of his success isn't just he's a great player, but what he's got with the greatest quarterback we've seen in decades is something that you just can't even put your finger on sometimes. Because Travis Kelce's not ever going to be as dominant a player if he doesn't have someone who he's in tune with as much as he is with Patrick Mahomes. So I'm with you. I think, Cap, you said it. Any list that doesn't have Tyreek Stevenson in it at this time.
Tyreek Hill,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know
By
what's
the
wrong
way,
with me today.
a 24-year-old Tom Waddle in 1991.
Yeah.
55 catches for $5.99 and 3 tutties. That belonged on that list.
Jonathan, do you realize that I'm getting out over my skis right now, but I think I have a higher career yards per catch average than Keenan Allen.
I've heard this. Yes,
does.
I've heard this.
Take that, Shay.
Thanks, Dad.
Stick that in your analytics.
More of Tommy coming up with Waddle Wednesday on the Kap and J Morning.